Hello students, yesterday we have studied ideal solution and we have seen what are properties of ideal solution. So the most important condition for being ideal solution was the solute-solute interaction should be equal to solute-solvent interaction should be equal to solvent-solvent interaction. Enthalpy of mixing of solute and solvent or enthalpy of mixing should be 0. Volume of mixing should be 0 and it should follow Raoult's law in entire range of concentration. Today we are going to discuss non-ideal solutions. So non-ideal solutions are those solutions which are not following the rules that we have discussed in case of ideal solution. So in case of non-ideal solution, the A is representing here solute. So solute-solute interaction should not be equal to solute-solvent interaction. B is indicating here solvent. We have solute A and we have dissolved this solute A in solvent B. If solute-solute interaction, meaning of interaction, the intermolecular force between the molecules of solute. Solvent-solvent interaction means intermolecular force of attraction between the molecules of solvent. And solute-solvent interaction means intermolecular force of attraction when we mix solute and solvent. Then what kind of intermolecular attraction is acting between molecules of solute and solvent? That is solute-solvent interaction. So if solute-solute interaction is not equal to solute-solvent interaction, not equal to solvent-solvent interaction, in that case we say that solution is non-ideal. Enthalpy of mixing. Whenever we mix two components of a solution, we are mixing solute and solvent, and in that case if enthalpy of mixing is not coming equal to 0, means either heat is released or heat is absorbed. In case of ideal solution, the enthalpy of mixing was 0, means when we will mix two component of solution, solute and solvent, in that case there will be neither release of heat energy nor absorption of heat energy. If neither release nor absorption is taking place, then we will say that solution is ideal, or we can say that enthalpy of mixing is 0. But here enthalpy of mixing is not equal to 0 means whenever we will mix component of solution, means solute and solvent, either heat energy will be released or it will be absorbed. On mixing, if we will touch the beaker, we will feel either it is hot or it is cool. In that case, we will say solution is non-ideal. In the volume of mixing, when we mix two component of solution and there is no change in volume, in that case we will say that solution is ideal. But if we mix and volume change takes place, volume increases, in that case we will say that solution is non-ideal. Ideal solution follows Raoult's law in the entire range of concentration. There is no limitation. But non-ideal solution follows Raoult's law at a very low concentration, and when we increase concentration, then it deviates from the ideal behavior. So condition for being non-ideal solution is does not obey Raoult's law over the entire range of concentration. So these are the properties of non-ideal solution. So if it is not following Raoult's law, then we will say that it will deviate from the Raoult's law. And yesterday I have plotted a graph here and I discussed everything about that graph. So if it is not following Raoult's law, then we will say that solution is deviating from the Raoult's law. And there are two deviations of solution. One deviation is known as positive deviation from the Raoult's law. Another is known as negative deviation from the Raoult's law. A solution is said to be positively deviated from the Raoult's law if the total vapor pressure is higher than that of ideal condition. And we will say that it is deviating negatively from the Raoult's law if the total pressure is lesser than the ideal condition. When we are mixing two components of a solution, solute solvent will interact. If both are volatile, in that case both the component of solution will go in vapor phase. It will have certain vapor pressure, and the total vapors present over the solution will exert pressure, and that pressure is known as total vapor pressure, and this total vapor pressure will be equal to sum of partial pressure of individual component of solution. Suppose if we are preparing a solution by mixing 2-3 components, then each component will go in vapor form if it is volatile. Remember that if it is volatile, then it will go in vapor form and it will have certain pressure, it will exert certain pressure that will be known as its partial vapor pressure. So if we have prepared a solution by mixing 2-3 volatile components, all the components will go in vapor phase and the sum of partial pressure of all the components will be the total vapor pressure of solution. So if we are preparing a solution and it deviates positively from Raoult's law, here the meaning of positive deviation is having vapor pressure higher than the ideal condition. Then we'll say that this is positive deviation, and the total pressure is, if the total vapor pressure is lesser than the vapor pressure of solution in ideal case, then this will be known as negative deviation from Raoult's law. So with the help of graph phase diagram, we will understand positive and negative deviation from Raoult's law, as well as we are going to see what are the mixtures which shows positive deviation and negative deviation, and then we'll discuss very important term azeotrope. What is the meaning of azeotrope? What is the meaning of minimum boiling azeotrope? What is the meaning of maximum boiling azeotrope? So here we have graph of two solutions, two different solutions. In this graph, if we see, this vertical line is representing mole fraction of solvent. Chi1 is mole fraction of solvent, Chi2 is mole fraction of solute. So on the vertical axis, or we can say y-axis, we are representing vapor pressure. This one is vapor pressure, and on the horizontal axis we are representing mole fraction. Similarly, on the right hand side, the vertical axis is representing vapor pressure, and x2 is mole fraction of solute, x1 is mole fraction of solvent. So here this line, this vertical line and this vertical line is representing solute and solvent in its pure state. If we see this one, it is indicating that x1 solvent is in its pure state. In that case, its vapor pressure will be vapor pressure in pure state, that is P1 naught. Here this point is indicating vapor pressure of solute if it is volatile in pure state. It should be volatile, only then we can draw this phase diagram. So in that case, its vapor pressure in pure state is P1 naught. This will be P2 naught. Vapor pressure of solute in pure state P2 naught, vapor pressure of solvent in pure state P1 naught. So these two vertical lines are indicating the condition when our solute and solvent is in pure state. When we mix together, then obviously the mole fraction of both solute as well as solvent will decrease. So when we go from right to left or left to right, we will get solution. So this dotted line, you can see this straight line is indicating ideal condition that we have studied yesterday. You can see yesterday videos. This is indicating ideal condition. Ideal condition means solute-solute interaction is same as that of solute-solvent interaction is same as that of solvent-solvent interaction. Means whatever type of intermolecular forces are acting between the solvent molecules, same kind is acting between solute also and solute-solvent also. So we have this solute-solvent mixture, and if it is ideal, then we were getting this kind of graph, straight line, this one also straight line, this one also straight line. This line is indicating total vapor pressure of the solution, and total vapor pressure of solution is equal to vapor pressure of solute plus vapor pressure of solvent. But if this solution is not ideal means if interaction is not same, in that case we'll observe positive deviation as well as negative deviation. So when we will observe positive deviation, this is a question to address. We can see that in the pure state or in the ideal cases, suppose we have solute particle A, and then BB and AB. AA is indicating interaction between solute, BB is indicating interaction between solvent, AB is indicating interaction between solute and solvent. Suppose if the AB interaction, the binding force between the molecules of solute and solvent is weaker as compared to its interaction between solute and solvent, in that case A and will easily go into vapor form, or we can say more number of moles of A and B will go in vapor form. And if more number of moles of A and B will go in vapor form, in that case the vapor pressure will rise than that of ideal condition. This rise in vapor pressure causes positive deviation from the Raoult's law. So we can say that as the vapor pressure has increased, that's why we say that this solution is positively deviated from Raoult's law. But in case of negative deviation, this AB interaction becomes stronger than solute-solute interaction in solvent-solvent interaction. In that case, what will happen? Less number of molecules of A and B will go in vapor form, and when less number will go in vapor form, its vapor pressure will decrease, and we will say that from the ideal condition, this is the ideal condition of Raoult's law, there is negative deviation. Negative deviation means vapor pressure is decreasing. Here there is positive deviation, means vapor pressure is increasing. So that's why it is called negative deviation from the Raoult's law. So here we got two conclusions. First conclusion is that if solute-solvent interaction is weaker than solute-solvent interaction, in that case positive deviation will take place. While if the solute-solvent interaction is stronger than solute and solvent interaction, in that case negative deviation will take place. So on this basis we have defined both are non-ideal solution because interaction is not same. AA interaction is not equal to BB is not equal to AB. So both are example of non-ideal solution. In non-ideal solution there will be two types of solution. One showing positive deviation, another one is showing negative deviation. In case of positive deviation, the solute-solvent interaction will be weaker as compared to solute-solute and solvent-solvent interaction. In case of negative deviation, the solute-solvent interaction will be stronger as compared to solute-solute and solvent-solvent interaction. So these two graphs are very important. So this P1 is indicating vapor pressure of solvent, P2 is indicating vapor pressure of solute. So total vapor pressure here will become P1 plus P2 of solution. Similarly, in this graph also, total vapor pressure will become P equals to P1 plus P2. We have studied in class 11 Dalton's law of partial pressure, and this law says that total vapor pressure is equal to sum of partial vapor pressure of each component. So each component, here two components are there, 1 and 2. So total vapor pressure will be sum of partial pressure of each component P1 plus P2. Similarly here also total vapor pressure equals to P1 plus P2. So this was the phase diagram of Raoult's law in case of non-ideal solution. This graph is showing positive deviation and this graph is showing negative deviation. So the example of solutions showing positive and negative deviations are, first one, ethanol in acetone. When we mix pure ethanol in acetone, then solution form shows positive deviation from Raoult's law. Why this happens? We know that between the ethanol molecule, intermolecular hydrogen bonding takes place, and hydrogen bonding is a strong bond. So we can say that solute-solute interaction means here ethanol is solute, so ethanol interaction is strong. But when we add acetone in ethanol, in that case the molecule of acetone comes in between the ethanol molecules. This, then acetone, and then ethanol. These acetone molecules come in between the ethanol molecule. This reduces hydrogen bonding between the molecules of ethanol, and this reduction in hydrogen bonding decreases interaction between solute and solvent, and when interaction will decrease, it will go in vapor form easily in more number, and so its vapor pressure will rise. Another example is phenol and aniline. When we mix phenol and aniline, then it shows negative deviation from Raoult's law. In both phenol and aniline, hydrogen bonding takes place, but when we mix together, then intermolecular hydrogen bonding between phenol and aniline is much stronger than between the phenol and aniline. We have phenol molecule, it has hydrogen bonding, aniline also hydrogen bonding is there, but when we mix together, then hydrogen bonding between the, when we draw the structure of phenol, we can see this one is our phenol, this is phenol, and this one is aniline. So this hydrogen bonding, that is hydrogen bonding between the hydrogen of phenol and nitrogen of aniline, is stronger than the hydrogen bonding between the molecules of phenol and between the molecules of aniline. This increased interaction reduces its vapor pressure in gaseous phase, and that's why there is decrease in vapor pressure compared to ideal condition. Hence it is known as negative deviation from Raoult's law. It shows negative deviation from Raoult's law. In case of chloroform and acetone, when they are separate from each other, the interaction between chloroform molecules are very less. It is highly volatile. Similarly, acetone molecules are highly volatile. If you will keep in your hand, it will evaporate immediately. For example, thinner used for nail paint, if you keep that thinner in your hand, mostly that thinner is acetone, keep in your hand, then it will evaporate easily because the interaction between the molecules are very less. Similarly, chloroforms are highly volatile. But if we mix together, then hydrogen bonding takes place between chloroform and acetone, and due to this hydrogen bonding, interaction or intermolecular force of attraction becomes very strong. If we see chloroform, this is chloroform, hydrogen and 3 chlorine atom, and if we see acetone, this is acetone, CO, CH3. So there is hydrogen bonding between hydrogen and oxygen. So due to this intermolecular hydrogen bonding, solute and solvent molecules are held very strongly together, and it results in decrease in vapor pressure, and this is known as negative deviation from Raoult's law. Azeotropes. So azeotropes are binary mixtures. Binary mixture means it has two components. In this mixture, if components are 2, then it is called binary. If 3 components are there, then it is called ternary. So this is binary mixture having same composition in vapor phase as well as in liquid phase. Suppose if we have prepared this solution by mixing 2 components, then whatever its composition is in liquid phase, same composition if there is in vapor phase, then this is known as azeotrope. So binary mixtures having the same composition in liquid and vapor phase and boil at constant temperature is known as azeotrope. Every mixture has certain boiling point, so it will boil at certain temperature. When it will boil at certain temperature, both the components of mixture will go in vapor phase. But in case of azeotrope, whatever composition is there in liquid phase, same composition will be in vapor phase also. Suppose if composition here in liquid phase is 70:30, component A is 70% and B is 30%. Then in vapor phase also its composition will be 70:30. 70% part will be A and 30% part will be B. In that case, it is called azeotrope. Usually whenever we have to separate 2 components of a mixer, then by using the difference in their boiling point we can separate the components. The one having less boiling point will go in vapor phase earlier, and second having low boiling point will go afterwards, or it will go, if it will go then it will go in less amount, and when we condense, cool down that vapor, then we will get higher amount of component 1, or the one having less boiling point will become more enriched in the condensed. Suppose we have distillation is very common example. By distillation we can separate two different components. Suppose if we have, this is distillation flask, and in this distillation flask we have two components A and B, and we are boiling, then what will happen? It will go in vapor phase. When it will go in vapor phase, then the one, suppose A have less boiling point, its boiling point is 30 degrees Celsius, B has 60 degrees Celsius, then more number of molecules of A will go in vapor form, means this vapor will be enriched with A, and there will be less amount of B. When we will condense this vapor, then on condensation we will get a solution in which there is more amount of A. Here amount of A will rise because in vapor phase more amount of A is there, and we are cooling this vapor to get this mixture, and amount of B will be less. Again, if we repeat this phenomenon, by that way we can increase our concentration of A gradually. But in case of azeotrope, a condition comes when we boil this solution, then the mixture boils at constant temperature. Suppose that temperature is 50 degrees Celsius. At 50 degrees Celsius whole mixture boils, and the composition of vapor phase and solution phase remains same. If there is 70% composition, 70:30 in liquid phase, then in vapor phase also its composition will be 70:30. When we will condense, again we will get 70:30. So we cannot isolate A from B if it has made azeotropic mixture. So usually 95% ethanol forms azeotropic mixture. We cannot further enrich ethanol by this condensation process, because when we will heat in liquid phase, if its a ratio is 95:5, then in vapor phase also its ratio will remain same, and it result in no enrichment of ethanol, no increase in concentration of ethanol, and again we will get the same mixture. So this was all about azeotropes. There are two types of azeotropes: minimum boiling azeotrope and maximum boiling azeotrope, and colligative properties. Basically these two topics are there. I will discuss this in next video lecture. Till then, you just revise your contents, prepare notes, and solve NCERT exercise and text questions. And if you have any doubt in this video lecture or any of the video lecture, you may write in comment. I will give you a reply immediately when I will see your queries or questions. Thank you.